Hello there, I'm Mason Cortez. I'm interviewing Heath Walton for my discursive interview for my research methods for the creative arts class. I'm taking a bachelor's creative arts program at Yorkville University. How are you today, Heath?
Hi, Mason. I'm good today.
So, my first question is what inspired you to pursue creative arts as a form of a career? And was there anything from your youth, like a piece of music, a game, or a movie, that gave you that inspiration?
I think the biggest thing for me was being lucky enough to see Star Wars in a theater in 1977 at the ripe old age of 6. Never seen anything like it and just sat there transfixed for 2+ hours and just thought, like, I didn't know we could do this. My dad also helped broaden my horizons, exposing me to lots of music. I still remember when I was tired of my first record, The Beach Boys. I asked it what in his collection I should be listening to next, and he plopped me down on a couch and rummaged around for a few minutes and then brought out David Bowie and put on Space Oddity. And needless to say, my little brain was just blown away again. I think art is also just a way of me understanding the world, understanding myself. So there's always been a need to do it. But yeah, I'm definitely inspired by the things that have got me to this point. So movies, comic books, novels. I was also lucky enough to grow up in an era of comic books with Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, John Byrne, Claremont, all the big names. George Perez. So there was a never-ending source of inspiration there as well.
My second question is do you have any creative process or schedule that helps you focus on your creative processes and projects to ensure they are finished on time before deadlines?
I think in terms of an actual schedule or a routine, I'm still kind of working that out post-school. I definitely know what I want to be doing next year. One thing I definitely did learn in school is the idea of I need to think of a week in roughly 5 days work and 2 days weekend. Trying to do creative work 7 days straight, the work starts to suffer. You're just trying to rush and finish things. You need that 5 days to let things percolate, 2 days to let you recharge the engine, go see a movie or do something else. A few other small things I've always found with having ADHD, need to be working on multiple projects in case I get completely bogged down in one. You can always pick up something else. Try and come at it from a different angle. Be conscious of deadlines, but sometimes you have to just stop and try something else. For next year, when I know I want to be doing a lot more work, there's a lot of things to start. I need to get out of the feast or famine kind of way of working, where the hyper focus will kick in and you're going crazy for 3 days. Art is like any creative thing. It's like it's like a muscle. You want to build that muscle memory. If you can do it every day, even a little bit, it only gets better and easier. I think that's a key thing for next year. Just that start every day. It's a work day. Let's make sure we got half an hour to work on stuff. For me personally, I'm also big on my space. I've had this discussion with profs before. One, I can't afford a separate studio. For some people, a separate studio is kind of needed for that separation. I need a certain amount of stuff around me. Need to make sure my tools are handy. I'm comfortable. There's inspiration around, like posters, books. So having a separate studio is like having 2 apartments for me. It would have to be set up the same as my apartment, so there's no sense heading out. Still have to work on that separation between work and life.
And my last question is, do you think it's wise for other artists pursuing a career in the creative processes to explore and incite their mental health struggles and strives in their work to explore more thoroughly their emotions, such as themes of trauma, depression, or sexuality?
I think this is a point where the artist has to know what they're trying to do and who they're doing it for. I know for myself the work I'm doing it is for me first and foremost, and if it helps someone else, then that's like a bonus. So I'm not afraid to tackle just about any issue if it's related to me. I think of Joe Matt. I think is probably the first person when I think of a complete, unfiltered personal confession kind of comic or art form. It really depends on the artist. I still have a lot of stuff from my childhood that I'm trying to unpack, and the easiest way for me to do that is through art. And like I said, if it's, if I put it down and somebody else can read it, then maybe it helps them too. I definitely believe that artists shouldn't be censoring themselves. I think it's one of the first things you learn at art school is like just get the work out on paper and then figure out what it is. But then there are people that maybe just want to tell a good story and not necessarily be personally involved, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think the artist just has to really ask themselves, what am I doing?
Thank you, Heath. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me, Mason, and hopefully that helps.